Hey there, Wastelanders. Welcome back to War Games News Radio and a very special episode of the Assembly Required campaign. Now, not only is this the finale of our Narrative Battle Report campaign, but it's also the start of a long-awaited collaboration between myself and John over at War Budgies. Now, this mashup battle report is going to be in two parts. Episode 1, which you're watching right now here on WGNR, and Part 2, which will be debuting on the War Budgies YouTube channel. So if you're not already following War Budgies, check the link in the description below and make sure you're subscribed to John's channel so you get the notifications when Part 2 of this battle report is coming out. Each episode will feature turns from two separate battles, one played by me and one played by John. We're going to be jumping back and forth between the two battlefields, and depending on how things go on my board, will have a very significant impact on how things go in John's battle. If it sounds a little complicated, rest assured it'll make a lot more sense once we get rolling. For my battle, I'm going to be playing a custom scenario I designed called Armory Assault. If you want to download a free PDF of this scenario, head on over to the WGNR Discord server, and you can find a link for that down below in the description as well. Now, as mentioned, this two-parter battle report is going to mark the end of this Assembly Required campaign that we've been working on for a couple months now, but rest assured it is not the end of battle reports on WGNR. There's lots more to come and lots more in the works, but we'll talk about that in a future video, which I'll be talking about sort of the state of the union of the channel and where things are headed next. But let's get back to the matter at hand. It has been a long road for our Brotherhood of Steel recon crew, but they have finally arrived at the armory. They've battled robots, a Deathclaw, and an army of super mutants to get here, and there's still a horde of angry greenskins hot on their trail. So sit back and enjoy as we kick off this Wasteland Warfare Narrative AI two-parter collaborative battle report. Let's get into the action.
Nora, they're right behind us. I know, just run. There's a lot of them. Stop doing math and just run.
Stinking humans!
Nora, I'm doing math. You, is that a radio? Yeah, kinda. I just kinda built this at home. Hand it over. To anyone listening, we are under attack from super mutants just west of daylight. We need help.
Here we are, as promised, the Rockefeller National Armory. Good grief, Hartman. You weren't kidding about big guns. That cannon is huge.
And it looks to be fully operational.
Copy that, Meyer. We need to secure that weapon at all costs. Pardon me, sir, but I'm picking up something strange on my scanners. It's a transmission. There seems to be a group of civilians, and they're under attack by more mutants. More mutants? Well, that complicates things. Wait a minute. We could use the cannon. But we won't be able to hold off all of these mutants without... did somebody call for reinforcements?
The cavalry's here, Brenner. Ad Victorium.
Knight Grogan! Scribe Phillips! I was starting to think HQ had forgotten about us.
Sorry it took so long, Brenner, but we brought something along for your initiate here. Say hello to a shiny new set of T-45.
Outstanding. Suit up, Kevin. You're one of us now. Okay, Recon Squad. This is it. Whatever these mutants are up to, it's bigger than all of us. We might be outnumbered, but we're not outgunned. So let's do what we came to do and give those civvies a chance to escape. Ad Victorium.
Ad Victorium.
Here is the map for Armory Assault. As you can see in the center of the field, we have the experimental railgun Fat Man cannon. It is controlled by 3 separate computer terminals, last one located inside the control shack there, which I will attempt to activate. For every intact terminal which I have activated at the end of every round, I will gain 1 counting token. My opponent's objective, this massive army of super mutants, will be to destroy said terminals. The terminals have a health of 4 and an armor resistance of 2 physical and 1 energy damage. Now things are only going to get more tangly from there, because for every active and intact terminal I have in play at the beginning of every round, I get to fire the cannon. It will be fired using the mini nuke, so Fat Man profile, but unlike a standard Fat Man or Big Gun, I'm not going to roll to hit. It will always hit its intended target, but scatter yellow in a randomized direction. So it's really going to be a good idea for me to activate these terminals as quickly and efficiently as possible for both victory counting reasons and for the sake of being able to fire mini nukes both onto my battlefield and into the nearby battlefield on the War Budgies Welcome to Daylight map. Our opposing force is actually made up of two separate groups of super mutants, which will enter the game using the Scattered Defenders special rule. So I'm designating this group as unlucky and this group as lucky, and depending on a die roll prior to deployment will determine which group deploys first. The remaining super mutants will deploy depending on a luck die again at the beginning of every round starting on the second round. So yeah, depending on how lucky I get on these die rolls will depend on how many super mutants are coming after our Brotherhood squad today. So many thanks to viewer Johnny Grogan for sending in this luck die to the channel to use in battle reports. He's a fan and a friend of the channel, and I can't say thank you enough for sending in this Modifius luck die to use. And as a thank you, Mr. Grogan, you now have a Knight Grogan wielding a Gatling laser to help us with this battle. So many thanks again, and hopefully we're able to put this luck dice to good use.
And over on the Daylighter side, Nora and the gang find themselves surrounded by the incoming horde of super mutants. So this scenario is going to be a little bit weird at this end. We've got Nora, Dogmeat, and Benji hanging out here with 6 settlers. The settlers are non-combatants. They have the usual settler stat card, 4 health, 1 armor. And they are surrounded neatly by super mutants. There's a lot of models here. The mutant hounds are mutant hounds. All the mutinies are just stock super mutants, board and bolt action pipe rifle, all around the perimeter. And then the big guy there is here to crash the party, as behemoths tend to do. And this scenario is less about winning or losing and more about degrees of survival. There are 6 settlers, and the story will change based on how many settlers Nora and the gang can get out alive and back to daylight. So ideally, they can get all 6 of them either off the board or still alive at the end of things, or they might lose them all, who knows. If any of you are doing the math in your head, yes, Nora and the gang are hideously outnumbered, over 2-1, almost 3-1 in points value with the super mutants. The good news is this is going to be a shorter scenario. We are only going 4 turns on this. Any settler who reaches the edge of the board is considered to be safe and can leave. The bad news is all the board edges are patrolled by muties. We got 2 muties and a dog. We got 2 muties and a dog. We got dog, behemoth, mutie, dog, and this guy in the corner, representing table war. And really their only saving grace is that over on Ryan's table, they are securing some ludicrous firepower. So we're going to use the Suicider Mini Nuke to represent the artillery bombardment that's coming in. The difference is it is going to be diameter red instead of yellow for the blast because this is artillery we're talking about.
We've got a lot of heavy firepower and some new units to help us try to get this job done.
For the Brotherhood of Steel, we have a heroic Knight Tech Brenner with the Tech Leader card, T45 Power Armor, Power Fist, and Submachine Gun. He's pretty kitted out. Field Scribe Shield Meyer and Phillips, each with a laser pistol and the Life Giver perk. Lancer O'Connor with his trusty laser rifle. The Robo-Brain Dr. Hartman with his Mesmatron, Robo-Brain arms, and Robo-Brain laser. Initiate Kevin, now Night Patrol Kevin, in his T45 power armor with assault rifle and power fist. And rounding out the crew is Knight Grogan in T45 power armor with his handy-dandy Gatling laser. And on Team Greenskin, we have 4 standard super mutants with boards and bolt-action pipe rifles, 3 Mutant Hound Fiends with their Mutant Hound Bite, 3 Super Mutant Suiciders equipped with their Suicider Mini Nukes, and 1 Big Bad Behemoth with a Fire Hydrant Bat.
So let's get cracking and see what happens. First things last, let's find out which group of mutants will be deploying first. Oh, that is the unlucky Gru, meaning 1 super mutant behemoth and 3 super mutant suiciders will be the first to join. After scattering our deployment, we have the behemoth over here in the corner along with 1 suicider and 2 suiciders on this side ready to start charging down the field. So we've got our Brotherhood crew ready to go. Let's start getting some mutants moving. First suicider made 2 moves to get down the road here and is just charging towards our good guys. Well, I've split the Brotherhood crew into 2 different sort of units here. We've got the go and get terminals hacked unit on this side and the shooty-shoot / special weapons and tactics with Dr. Hartman's squad on this side here. So I'm gonna see if I can't use the Gatling laser on Knight Grogan here to take out that suicider way down on the other side. So I'm just gonna make 1 quick movement there and start shooting with my Gatling laser. Now the Gatling laser is a walked fire weapon which actually gets 5 separate attacks. For every attack that I hit on the suicider doing damage, I will get to roll the special effect die, and if it rolls with the nuke explosion icon, it blows up. So yeah, this could be a lot of fun, but at long range, no special die, hitting on a 7. Attack 1 is a hit. So that's 1 damage on 1 physical armor. It stops that one, but because of the Gatling laser special ability, it actually drops the armor for every consecutive hit. So now we're hitting on 7s again. That is a hit on a crit. The armor of the mutant goes down from 1 to 0, so the damage automatically goes through. So let's roll and see if we get an explosion. We do not, so that's 1 damage down. Second attack, here comes the 3rd attack, hitting on 7s. That's a miss. So the armor resets. 4th attack, hitting on 7s. That is a hit. 1 damage, 1 armor. It goes through, so that's 2 damage down. Let's see if he explodes. He does not, but last attack, hitting on 7s. That is a hit. Auto damage because of the armor reduction, and now let's roll and see if we get lucky and get that nuke. We do not. So that is 3 points of damage on the first suicider already. Not bad, but it does have 8 hit points, so long ways to go, but nicely done on your first attack, Knight Grogan. The behemoth activated next and took 2 movements to get himself sort of right smack dab in the middle of things and within striking distance of the computers next time around. Well, I'm already pretty intimidated by the mutant movements so far, and it's only round 1, but you know what? I'm not gonna win if I don't activate any terminals, so let's just send Scribe Meyer 2 movements up to get in contact with the first terminal, and she'll be able to start hacking next round, despite the proximity of some suiciders. This suicider is next to activate, and we'll just make 2 yellow movements up the board to try to get in charging distance next time around. I'm gonna get Initiate Kevin to move next and just take 1 movement in contact with this item here, which is a free item. So let's go ahead and see what Kevin got. Incendiary ammo. This is a new item from the New Vegas expansion pack. Discard when performing a shooting or close combat action to add fire damage to the weapon's effects. No effect if attack misses. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and load that incendiary ammo into our assault rifle. Maximum 3 incendiary ammo in the entire force. And the last suicider also moved twice to get up right next to his buddy in the middle of the road there. And that's gonna round out Team Mutant for this turn, meaning it's time for me to get some activations done. I'm gonna activate O'Connor next, and with these 2 suiciders as close together as they are, I'm gonna try to get some shots down in on them, see if I can't set off that nuke. So I'm just gonna do 1 yellow movement to get him within distance of these boxes, to get some cover there, and we're gonna take some shots down range. So O'Connor with the laser rifle, hitting on 7s, shooting at the injured super mutant suicide. Whoops. So because of the bottle cap here, 1 of the damage goes right through, leaving us with 2 damage on 1 laser armor. Okay, so he's gonna take all 3, and let's roll to see if he explodes. He does not.
We're going to activate our leader, Brenner, here. Let's roll for his VATS. He gets 1 extra action. So we're going to use that quick action to move once. And then we're going to move again to get within action range of the computer. And then we're going to try to hack it. Brenner hacking on a 6 with an extra green and yellow die, thanks to his hacker leader perk. That is a success. Great success. So with that first computer terminal activated, that means we're gonna get to fire the cannon at least once at the beginning of next turn. And for my last activations, I moved the second scribe Phillips up and just prepared him in sort of the middle of both terminals here, and moved Hartman twice to get him behind that rock.
At the end of Ryan's turn 1, his forces controlled 1 artillery piece. So at the beginning of my turn 1, they will get to drop 1 piece of artillery. So I sent a picture to Ryan and he selected this hound and his appropriate handler as the target for the bombardment. Not a terrible plan, because if the settlers can open up 1 board edge, they might be able to make a run for it, and you don't want to make a run that way. So we're starting off, it's going to be red diameter centered on the mutant hound. It's going to catch him direct and the mutie next to him. So the mutant hound hit is taking a 5 damage hit with an armor break, plus the following dice. 6 damage hit, which is more than enough to remove him and replace him with imaginary crater in this location. Super mutant next to him takes a 5 damage hit against 1 physical armor and fails it. He takes 5 points of damage and goes down to 1 health before the game even starts. So that's the opening bombardment. The name of the game is now Let's Keep the Settlers Alive, going into turn 1. Team 1 leading off with Nora, checking for VATS. Nora gets a VAT. Nora's going to use her quick action, just as a movement, in order to hop down from the plane. Now the explosion has left kind of a gap, they're going to push hard to the southern border and see if they can break through there. Putting her first shot into the mutie who got hit by the explosion. Nice shot. 2 physical damage against 1 physical armor, and only 1 health left. Put her second shot into this guy right here, try to clear the entire flank. Hitting on 7s. Oh, hit with a quick action. 3 physical against 1 physical armor. He takes 3. Then she just picked up quick action. Nora is going to try to get a extra crit point off that attack. And she does. That fully charges her hunting rifle. With that final quick action, she will launch her crit into the same guy. Automatic hit, automatic 4 damage, plus... Cool. But it's 4 damage, 1 armor, he has 3 health left. And the survivors clear, survivors plus the Brotherhood artillery, clear the southern flank. Random activation triggers over here with the super mutant. It's going to run yellow. And then yellow is kind of up under the wing. Now our boy Benji was voted MVP by quite a substantial margin after the last combat, and rightfully so. His boost, he's going to use it right off the bat, is Sprint. So it's going to increase his movement by 1 color. He's going to go from yellow to red movement. Hustle in around here. Try to hold off these guys on this side. And make a charge action into this mutie. Random activation for the AI comes over here with the mutant hound. And thankfully for that settler, he is just barely out of charge range. So the hound is going to have to move up red. And then we'll have plenty of room to make a blue charge into the first settler. In a phenomenal charge, counter charge, Dogmeat is going to go next. We're going to roll for his VATS because he is close to Nora. Y'all thought I was going to forget that. Well, I usually do. So here we go, VATS. Dogmeat gets no VATS. That's what I get. Dogmeat is going to pounce a real quick charge to here and go for the chomp. All right, he's got the Dogmeat special, green die for having a friend in combat, black die for the charge, hitting on 6s. It's a hit, well done. 2 physical damage against 1 armor. And blocks 1, takes 1. As usual, the puppers are the star of the show around here. Our Table War Super Mutant in the corner Activates next. He is going to cut around this way. Doesn't like the look of that power armor. And start moving to sort of head off Nora and the gang here on the southern edge. Moving into the settlers. So that was a good showing for the survivors, but the problem is that is now it. They have 3 combatants here. These settlers are going to move. They're going to be quasi-AI, so I'm going to randomly select which of them acts after the survivors are gone. So our first runner-up is the shirtless maniac, who doesn't like the look of that behemoth, but doesn't have a lot of room to maneuver here. So he's going to do the mountaineering Skyrim maneuver and just go up and over. Here, and then up to here. Totally not making a target out of himself. Guy in the corner activates next. He's going to run up and forwards. Thusly, are you in charge range? Red, you are not anywhere close to charge range. So he's actually going to try taking a shot with his bolt action pipe rifle at this closest settler. Long range shooting through cover, so he is hitting on 2s. He misses but gets a quick action. Yet another settler is going to make a scramble for it. He has to kind of swing wide because of the shenanigans that are happening over here. And he doesn't want any part of this business with the mutant hound. So he will scoot over here, feeling like he's more or less in the clear. Mutant engaged with Benji is going to swing next with his board. That looks like a stop sign, but is in fact a board. Hitting on 6s. Hit bonus damage. It'll be a long day for Benji. 2 physical damage, 3 physical armor. Blocks 1, takes 1. Reminder, Benji's armor is still broken because we still haven't made it back to daylight 2 episodes later. Second shot is a miss, thankfully. Our next contestant on the gauntlet that no one wants to be part of is going to come up to here onto difficult terrain, and she's going to have to move orange to squeeze into that gap. From the back, Big Chungus is going to start forward. He's technically the same speed as the settlers, but having a base this size, I mean, he takes huge, huge steps. That is horrible, very bad news for our first settler, who is both strange and mysterious, as he's going to charge. And we'll do a battle cry, why not? Behemoth lets out a battle cry at strength 13 and makes it. Settler resists with a 4. He has no hope of winning, but let's see how he does. Yeah, he's having none of this. He's going to push him yellow, which really he can just go about that far. Big boy's going to follow up. And he will receive both a green and a black die on his next attack, which will probably rate as a seismic event. Has this ever happened to you? Our nearest bearded compatriot is going to be having none of this, so he's going to make a run this way, which is going to draw an attack from his reaction. It's a quick action through cover, so he's just hitting on 1s. Oh, that would have sucked so bad. Our contender here in the back is realizing that the action is moving away from him, so he will make a yellow move, followed by another yellow move, kind of fortify this side of the board, maybe stare down Benji. Our Sturgis stand-in is going to go next. Since he has dog meat in combat, he is just going to casually meander out of combat, as one does, and is going to try to make a break for this side. He's actually pretty close, as long as this doesn't happen. Beauty over here, he's going to run up yellow, and he will take a shot at the settler sitting on top of the plane. Hitting on 4s long distance with the pipe rifle. Barely a miss. Either that or the bullet ricocheted off his pecs, we're not sure which, and we're not asking. Now folks, go and prepare your votes for least valuable player, as the mysterious stranger is going to try to escape straight up onto the nose of the plane. Well, John, that would provoke a free attack, wouldn't it? Yeah, you're darn tootin' it would. In fact, it's so shocking that I'm using words like darn tootin'. I'll fix them. So here we go. We got the fire hydrant bat. We got the double colors for the battle cry charge. The good news is he normally hits on 3, so he's hitting on 1 now because it's a quick action. The bad news is if he hits, this guy is probably salsa. So here we go. Oh, that hurts so much. He didn't technically break his armor, so 3 damage against 1 physical armor. And this guy has 1 health left. Admittedly, I did that slightly out of order, so we're going to fix that real quick. Technically, he declares the move, the attack happens. The reason I have to go back is because he rolled bottles. And when you're hitting guys with a fire hydrant bat and you roll bottles, you get to throw them. So he's going to move First, he's going to get thrown orange straight away from the behemoth, which seems like a bad thing for the Super Muties, except that he gets to follow up. So that's a pushback with a follow. So now the guy gets to move. And same plan as before. He moves up, difficult, down difficult. He has 1 health of his 4 left. And yet this story, if he makes it out, is going to get him drinks for the rest of his life. Final players move in, reaching across the table. There we go. Here's 1. And there's 2. So one of the puppers coming up. All right, so at the end of turn 1, for some reason, all the settlers are still alive, if only barely. We really kind of condensed into a cluster here in the middle, which is bad news because this guy is now in town. We got some guys coming around under the wing, sort of a pincher maneuver there. This guy coming around the south. Otherwise, this corner here, if Benji can hold this guy at bay, and if they can outrun the bullets and the mutant hounds, the settlers might actually start to make off the board. We haven't scored anything yet. All the settlers are still on the board, but none of them are dead yet. So let's move into turn 2.
Event for round 2, we got Heat Haze, a familiar one in this campaign. Any -1, 2, or 3 for any green die or any effect die will be discounted when shooting. So yeah, not so great. It is the start of round 2, so let's roll for the Scattered Defenders die and find out if we get anyone showing up. Hey, we're safe. Scattering yellow in this case puts the mini nuke's explosion center right about there, which isn't going to actually impact anybody, but I guess it's been a while since this cannon's been fired because the first round just goes and explodes directly in front of the cannon. So yeah, we'll call that the test shot, and hopefully the second volley, which fires into the War Budgies map, has a little bit more impact. So the behemoth moving once and easily charging once into both Brenner and the computer, meaning that next turn, things are gonna get pretty nasty. Well, God hates a coward, so let's use this prepare action for Kevin here to charge him into our super mutant behemoth. Let's change gears and get Knight Grogan here to start firing his Gatling laser again into the wounded suicider. Gatling laser first shot hitting on a 7. That's a miss. Second shot is a hit. 1 laser damage versus 1 laser armor. It's blocked. Second hit is a miss. Third hit is a hit. 1 laser damage versus 1 laser armor. And that goes through, thankfully. So that does 1 damage to our super mutant suicider, leaving him with 1 damage left. But let's roll and see if he explodes. I really hope he explodes. He does not explode. Last shot of the Gatling laser hitting on a 7. That's a miss. Damn. So this suicider here has 1 point remaining. Really wanted to set him off and see if we couldn't get a chain reaction of suiciders here, but not on that shot, unfortunately. Well, of course, this is our super mutant who decides to activate next and is going to move once. He's charging right into Hartman and setting off his mini nuke. Okie doke, things are about to get super weird for Hartman. This is gonna be 5 damage plus 5 damage and 2 armor break on 3 physical armor. So that means, yeah, down to 1 armor. So 5 damage versus 1 armor. Stops 1, takes 4, bringing Hartman down to 4 of his 8 total hit points. Jeez. First suicider goes up in a mushroom cloud, dealing 4 points of damage to Dr. Hartman. Oh, this is gonna get nasty. I've activated Kevin next, who used his prepare action to charge into our buddy the behemoth here, and now it's time to start smacking. Power Fist hitting on 8 because of superior materials and T45 power armor, rolling an additional 2 black die because of super strong and the charge. That is a hit for 1 damage, 1 armor break. Oh wow, 4 damage, 1 armor break. 4 damage on 2 plus 1 strong armor. Okay, takes 3 damage. 3 damage done to the behemoth, bringing him down to a wonderful 13 of 16 hit points. Let's attack again. Second attack, 2 black die for the Power Fist and green for outnumbering. Forgot to roll green last time around. That is another hit for 2 damage, extra super strong die. 2 damage, so that's 2 damage on 3+1 strong armor. It's all blocked. Injured Suicider is the next to go, but he's actually outside of charge range from anybody, so he's just gonna move once and then twice. But yeah, next time around, either Scribemeyer or Hartman are gonna get a bit of a big bada boom. But perhaps Lancer O'Connor can do something about that. Maybe we can get lucky and make this thing explode before it does any damage. So let's attack with a laser rifle. Second shot, also hitting on 7s. That is a hit. No, sorry, that is a miss with a quick action. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and prepare, but no explosion on that one, unfortunately. The last Suicider moved twice to try to get within charging range of the 3rd terminal next turn and try to get some victory points for the Mutants. Well, seeing how things are looking just super nasty down on this end, let's see if Meyer can activate and get some more mini nukes on the go. Meyer hacking on a 6. Unfortunately, she's out of range of Brenner's special abilities. That is a success. There we go. We now have 2 terminals activated, which means as long as both terminals are standing at the end of this round, we will get 2 victory points. We already have 1 to the Super Mutants 0. With her last action, Meyer is going to take a laser pistol shot into the Suicider. Meyer with a laser pistol hitting on 3s. That's a swing and a miss. Oh, it would be a hit if we didn't have the Heat Haze card in play. So unfortunately, this -3 is discounted, meaning it's just a full-on miss. So we're gonna go ahead and use Hartman as our last activation and try and see if we can't use the Mesmetron to our advantage. Okay, Robo-Brain Mesmetron hitting on 6s. If it's a hit, depending on what we get on the special effect die, we will actually gain control of that Suicider and possibly get them to move or do something weird. So let's find out if we hit. Hitting on 6. Okay, so that is a hit. And because we rolled a star, we can either make our Super Mutant Suicider move/charge or make an attack. Okay, so after much rules lawyering and back and forthing on how this is going to play out, I've decided to vote in favor of rule of cool. Because I've gained control of this Suicider and I gained a quick attack out of the deal, I'm just gonna punch him in the face with his own mini nuke and set off his explosion. Technically, I don't think this is street legal because to set off the Suicider mini nuke, you need to be within orange range of an opposing model, but because I've gained control of an opposing model with the Mesmetron, I think it's gonna override the situation here. So Hartman, using his Mesmetron, quickly bewilders the Super Mutant into taking a bite out of his own mini nuke and setting it off just a stone's throw from either himself and Scribemeyer. So yeah, again, don't think, not sure if this is rules as written, but it's a pretty Fallout moment and I think it's pretty damn funny. With that insane turn of events, that actually brings us to the end of round 2. The only Super Mutants left from this current batch are the Behemoth and this Suicider making a play for the 3rd terminal, but we've actually now gained ourselves 1, 2, and a 3rd victory point from the last round, meaning we're actually doing pretty darn good, but anything's possible with a whole batch of Super Mutants waiting in reserves.
Will Knight, Brenner, and the Brotherhood of Steel repel the Mutants and secure the cannon? Will Nora and the Daylight survivors find a way to escape the clutches of the dastardly Behemoth? Find out in Part 2, coming soon to War Budgies near you.
That's going to do it for the first half of this collaborative mashup battle report, but there is lots more action to come in part 2. So thanks so much for watching, and make sure you're subscribed to the War Budgies YouTube channel so you don't miss out on the shocking conclusion of this campaign and of this collaborative battle report. Stay tuned, WGNR will be back.